Days of Our Lives confession, will Xander forgive the ultimate betrayal? Sarah Horton, Lindsay Godfrey, and Xander Kyriakis, Paul Telfer, had been through hell and back. Their relationship had survived loss, lies, and years of emotional whiplash. After finally reuniting and tying the knot, they were planning their honeymoon, a fresh start, a break from the chaos, a chance to just be together. The bags were packed. The smiles were real. For once, they were in sync. But fate, as it often does in Salem, had other plans. As Sarah and Xander toasted to new beginnings, a single bite of a dessert, something Sarah didn't know she was allergic to, threw everything into chaos. Within minutes, she was gasping for air, her face flushed and swollen, her body betraying her. Xander, panicked, rushed her to the hospital. And as doctors and nurses fought to stabilize her, a deeper truth loomed dangerously close to the surface, one that Sarah had buried for months. Secrets beneath the surface, Sarah's deception. While Sarah's body battled anaphylactic shock, her mind raced with fear, not just of death, but of exposure. She knew this moment would come. Ever since learning about Philip Kyriakis' betrayal, Sarah had chosen to keep the truth from Xander. Philip, once again entangled in schemes involving the Kyriakis' fortune, had tricked Xander into unknowingly giving up half of his inheritance. And Sarah, fearing the wrath her husband would unleash if he discovered the truth, made a calculated choice. She chose silence. At first, she told herself it was for Xander's good, that it would protect him from flying off the handle, from burning bridges with his family, from doing something he couldn't take back. But as the days passed and the lie grew heavier, the weight became unbearable. And yet, she said nothing. She pulled Maggie Kyriakis, Suzanne Rogers, into the secret. Then others followed. Each one sworn to silence, each one complicit. It wasn't just a lie anymore. It was a web, and Sarah was the spider. A moment of weakness, or a play for pity? Now, on a sterile hospital bed, surrounded by beeping machines and the stale scent of antiseptic, Sarah is confronted with the consequences of her choices. Xander, by her side, terrified of losing her, holds her hand like a lifeline. His eyes, red-rimmed from worry, are filled with concern, not suspicion. In that moment, Sarah sees everything she stands to lose, not just his trust, but the love he's fought so hard to give her. And so, through tears and the haze of medication, she does something unexpected. She tells the truth. In a trembling voice, she confesses what she's hidden. She tells Xander that she knew about Philip's betrayal. That she stood by as her husband lost half his inheritance. That she told no one, not because she didn't love him, but because she feared what he would do. "I was scared," she whispers, her voice cracked. "Not of you, but for you. I thought I could protect you from yourself. But I was wrong. I should have told you. I should have trusted you." The room falls silent. Xander's face shifts, not with the fury she expected, but with disbelief. It's as if the ground has been ripped from beneath his feet. Xander's fury ignites. Betrayed by the one he trusted most. The days that follow are nothing short of volcanic. Xander is reeling. The woman he loves. The woman he married, chose to protect Philip over him. He confronts Maggie, then confronts Philip, and in each conversation, the puzzle pieces fall into place. They weren't conspiring against him, they were shielding Sarah. And that truth cuts even deeper. "She didn't trust me," he mutters, fists clenched. "She thought I'd blow it all up. And maybe I would've. But she had no right to decide for me." Xander doesn't just feel betrayed, he feels humiliated. Everyone knew. Everyone was playing a part in this farce. But at the center of it all was Sarah. His wife. The woman who promised honesty. The woman who stood by him through every scandal and sin, and now had lied in the most personal way possible. He throws himself into work, into fights, into self-destruction, because that's what Xander does when he's hurt. But beneath the anger, there is heartbreak. Because he doesn't just feel betrayed, he feels abandoned. Sarah's regret. A love on the brink. Sarah, slowly recovering, is left to pick up the pieces. She writes letters. She sends messages. She tries to explain herself. But the more she tries, the more Xander withdraws. The wall is up. The door is closed. And the silence is deafening. In one gut-wrenching scene, Sarah arrives at the Kiriakis' mansion, standing in the doorway like a ghost. She pleads with Xander to talk. To let her in. To understand. "I made a mistake," she says, voice shaking. "A terrible one. But I didn't stop loving you. Not for 1 second." Xander's voice is cold. You don't lie to someone you love. You don't keep them in the dark and then expect forgiveness when it's convenient. She begs. She sobs. And then, finally, he looks her in the eye and says the words she feared most, "I don't know if I can ever trust you again." Will they survive this? As the days stretch into weeks, Salem watches with bated breath. Will Sarah and Xander find their way back to each other, or is this the final straw? Is their love strong enough to survive betrayal? Sarah used a moment of weakness, her hospitalization, Xander's pity, to confess her sins. And though her confession was real, the timing taints it. Was it a genuine plea for redemption, or a calculated move to earn forgiveness? For now, Xander is silent. Watching. Waiting. And Sarah? She's praying that love is stronger than pain. Salem never ceases to surprise, and yesterday's episode was a shining example of just how unpredictable this town can be. Just when everyone thought Gabby had taken everything she needed, Leo made his grand return, stylish as ever, bringing even more food for Javi. But this time, the food wasn't the highlight. Amid the scattered containers and messy takeout, Gabby and Javi's eyes met in a gaze so charged it could spark flames. The temperature in the office started to rise. And not because of any spicy Mexican dish. It was the fire of flirting, smoldering looks, and undeniable attraction that ignited the space. With a mischievous glint in his eyes, Javi slowly cleared Gabby's desk, one item at a time. He didn't say a word. He didn't have to. And then, it happened, right there, in her office, on that very desk. A fiery explosion of passion that no building's air conditioning could contain. Jada and Sean, trust repaired with a smile. Meanwhile, across town, Jada decided it was time to face what had been bothering her, Leo's constant meddling, which was making her question her own instincts. She sought out Sean, who had once doubted her integrity. But this time, Sean didn't deflect or retreat, he offered a sincere apology for ever questioning her. The air between them softened. The tension lifted. And Jada, finally able to let her guard down, gave a small, warm smile and said, "You're a good man too, detective." A simple line, but one heavy with meaning. A clear sign that the cracks in their relationship were being gently stitched back together. Perhaps this was the start of something deeper, something more honest, something that neither of them thought possible just a few days ago. Doug brings good news, but in the shadows, a camera clicks, things took a brighter turn when Roman brought Doug to see Holly. Their surprise reunion was laced with an emotional twist. Doug wasn't just going to work at that location, he'd be living there too. And he would be starting tomorrow. Holly was overjoyed, though she playfully scolded Doug for not telling her before he moved out of her grandmother's house. She pulled him into an embrace, not just any hug, but one filled with heartfelt emotion. It was the kind of hug that says, "I'm losing something, but I'm also holding on to something that matters." Doug was that something. A friend who never turns his back. But the peace didn't last long. Tate appeared from behind, witnessing the intimate moment. His face twisted in anger, he stormed off, stomping his feet in frustration. The once pleasant atmosphere at the pub shattered into emotional chaos. Holly rushed after him, calling out, pleading, but her words fell on deaf ears. She returned to Doug, forcing a small smile as she tried to reassure herself, anyway, it's still a good day. Because of you. But what Holly didn't see, the audience did. From the shadows, a pair of gloved hands, cold and deliberate, held a camera steady, lens pointed directly at Holly and Doug. Click. The shutter captured a moment, a piece of a puzzle, evidence for something, or someone, waiting for the right time to strike. What's going on with Sarah Horton? As all of Salem swirls in secret romances, unexpected tenderness, and unseen threats, one looming question hangs in the air like a dark cloud: what's really happening with Sarah Horton? Was her sudden hospitalization just an accident? Or was it a well-calculated move, a strategic emotional play, to earn Xander's forgiveness? Is Sarah truly the helpless victim, or is she the master of the board, playing the long game from a hospital bed?